Let's take a look at the stock of Microsoft and see if it may be worth investing in going into its earnings report for Q4 of 2025. This is not financial advice, we're just going to take a look at the stock and I'll share my thoughts with it. Here we are on investing.com and we've got Microsoft's page pulled up. We're going to take a look going into earnings to see if it may be worth investing in or taking a position in or adjusting your position. Microsoft is, along with quite a few other big companies, Meta, Tesla, Apple, are reporting this week, and they combined make up 15% of the S&P 500. Microsoft currently sits at $465.95 US per share. Last week on Friday, it had a jump of 3.28%, so it looks like there may be already some buying going into its upcoming earnings report in the next couple of days. Its 52-week range is 344.79 up to 555.45, and that shows us a couple things there. So currently at 465, it is well off its 52-week low of 344. Okay, so it's well off that. So it's bounced. It's well into its momentum run, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at its fair value. We're going to look at the chart and different things later, and this will come back into it later on. But let's take a look at its fair value. Average fair value of $4.99. So a little bit to go still. 7.1% under its fair value. Uncertainty around Microsoft is low. People know Microsoft, people know it's Azure web services and what it provides, and so it's not an unknown company. The spread is 327 to 588 for it, and from 54 analysts, they have an average price target of 617, so that's significantly high from where it is currently. We don't need to look at what the company does. We know what it does. If you use Outlook or anything like that, Teams, 365, you know what it does. Here's some bull and bearish cases around Microsoft. It has raised its dividend for 20 consecutive years, which is quite significant. So it hasn't just kept the dividend the same, but it's actually increased what it's giving investors 20 years in a row. It is, however, trading at a high PE ratio, price to earnings ratio. Relative to near-term earnings growth. So it has that caveat there. This is a bear sign, but it has that caveat that it's relative to near term. So if you're a long-term investor, as we are, you're not so focused or worried about near term. Stock generally trades with low price volatility, so it doesn't have massive swings. Okay, it doesn't. It'd be very rare to see Microsoft jump or drop 10-15%. It doesn't have these massive swings. It's a good, strong company, strong foundation, and strong growth over the long term, as we're going to see here. Let's look long term and we'll work our way back with this one. So over the past 10 years, it has seen an 865% growth. 5 years, it has seen 109% growth. Over the past year, and this is where things get interesting, and the case is made, even though it had over a 3% jump on Friday, this is where the case can be made that Microsoft hasn't taken advantage or hasn't been part of the past year big run in the big tech companies. So this is where that case can be made, is in the past year it's only seen an 8% gain. The S&P 500 saw a 16% gain, and so for it to have only seen 8% gain lets us know it hasn't been part of that whole AI run, even though it's been involved more than Apple has been, I would say. But even though it's been involved in the AI stuff, it hasn't been part of the AI run. It's seeing an 8% gain for the past year. 3 months, for the past 3 months, it's actually down 12%. And for the past month, it is down 4.4%. Last week, week to week things move and change, it's up 2.5%. So the thing is without that, so it's up 2.5%, or 2.51%. So the short term, I don't really look at the week charts because things change week to week. The short term, it is very much, it's down 12%. It's down 12% over the 3 months. On Friday, it had a 3% jump going into earnings. It's sitting well above its 52-week low. And so looking at this, if you abide by your strategic plans, and I don't know your plans, this is why this is not financial advice, okay? But looking at this, I can see this as a buy. I would lean towards buying this going into earnings. And if it has a dip, no, you could just hold it long term, okay? And so I don't think over the long term you will do badly with this. And so that is my thoughts on Microsoft. If you would like to see a company reviewed, drop a link in the comments below. Again, it's all just my thoughts. It's not advice for what you should be doing. You know what your plans are and where you are at with your investments. But thanks for watching. Follow along, subscribe. Thank you to all those who do. If you haven't already, I'd love to have you join us both here on YouTube and on eToro. But we'll see you in the next video.